bills would prohibit state and local agencies from needlessly collaborating with ICE. The New York for All bill, which is sponsored by Senator Andrew Bernardis and Assemblymember Kidnappings, it would prohibit local and state law enforcement from sharing immigration status about New Yorkers with ICE and prevent them from needlessly collaborating with them. Similarly, there are local correctional facilities in our state that are holding our neighbors in immigration detention who have contracts with the federal government to do that. They do not need to do that, and the Dignity Not Detention bill, which I sponsor in the Senate, would prevent them from entering into those contracts and would end this practice of local jails in our state, from Nassau County to Orange County, from continuing to hold our neighbors in immigration detention. We have discussed and discussed and discussed these bills, and it is enough. It is time for us to act at the state level. History will judge us collectively for what we do or fail to do in this moment. It is beyond time. It is beyond time for us to finally pass the New York for All and Dignity Not Detention bills. I want to call up next. I was looking for Assemblymember Kidnappings, but I think up next I would love to call up Luba Cortez, Civil Rights and Immigration Lead Organizer at Make the Road New York.
Hello everyone, good morning. I'm a little under the weather, but I knew it was really important to be here today to ask for protections for New Yorkers. We're in a moment of tremendous uncertainty. Families are being torn apart. Constitutional rights are being violated left and right. And the country that many of us call home is becoming unrecognizable. This is why, more than ever, we need to come together and use our collective power to tell the New York legislature that we need to pass New York for All and Dignity Not Detention. We're seeing ICE outside of our schools, in our workplaces, and in our neighborhoods. Our people are scared. They do not want to go to medical appointments, seek shelter, go to church, take their little ones to school, and are even afraid to go to work. How could our people thrive if they're endlessly persecuted? Now more than ever, we need real protections and not patchwork approaches. It is time for Long Island and upstate to have protections that prevent any collusion between ICE and our state. Nassau County and Broome County have opted into 287G, which deputizes local law enforcement as an extension of ICE, something we did not see during the first administration. Racism and xenophobia are being emboldened, and we will continue to see these programs enacted unless our state steps in. Immigrants contribute over $168 billion in taxes. We need to ensure those contributions go to schools, our infrastructure, and not be funneled into the mass detention and deportation agenda of this administration. So again, we're here today to upload the importance of New York for All and Dignity Not Detention. Lastly, we're seeing people are being detained after or before their ICE check-ins. Students like Dylan, who is in high school and should be worrying about the school year, he's now sitting in detention in Pennsylvania. This is not acceptable, and this is not who we are. We must pass protections today. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Luba. And next I want to call up Assemblymember Marcela Jimenez.
Buenos días a todos.
Buenos días.
Soy asambleísta Marcela Mitaines, soy la primera inmigrante indígena peruana en la legislatura estatal. Estoy aquí para pararme con el pueblo durante estos tiempos muy difíciles. La forma en cual está atacando esta administración es cruel. Hay que reconocer lo que están haciendo. Nos están prácticamente robando la gente de la calle, sin explicación, sin entender lo que está pasando, sin importarle sus estatus. Y aquí estamos para decir que no lo vamos a permitir, que tenemos poder a nivel estatal por iniciar estas leyes y lo tenemos que hacer ahora. Estamos cansados de esperar. ¿Esperar qué? ¿Cuánta gente más se tienen que llevar? ¡Ya basta! La trauma que están causando para las personas de tercera edad, para nuestros niños, que ya están traumados en llegar aquí. ¿Qué más necesitan ver? Están viendo los videos. ¿Qué más necesitan para actuar? I am State Assembly Member Marcela Matenas, and I am the first immigrant indigenous Peruvian in the New York State Legislature. We have the power at the state to enact laws that will protect our people. It's at our fingertips. So what are we waiting for?
Exactly.
It is clear as day. It's happening everywhere. Upstate, downstate, in the building behind us. People are asking for help. What else do we need to act? We are already traumatized. Our seniors are seeing what's happening. Our children are witnessing our inaction. Enough! No one is safe. We had a federal staffer arrested. Wake up! Wake up! Now is the time to move! This is our community. We have helped build this city. Yes. We are not going anywhere. This is our home. Aquí estamos.
Y no nos vamos.
Aquí estamos.
Y no nos vamos.
No nos vamos. Governor Hochul, you're a mother. You're a grandmother. You're an immigrant. Please, now is the time to move. Now is the time to act. And to Honan, who had the audacity to just walk into the People's House in Albany? No. We're not going to let you just walk around like everything is fine. You are accusing us of being in the way? Then move me! Move me to get to my people, because I will not leave them alone.
Thank you so much, Marcela, for your powerful words and for always being a champion for all of our neighbors. Next, I want to call up Rosa Cohen-Cruz, Immigration Policy Director at Bronx Defenders.
Good morning. My name is Rosa Cohen-Cruz, and I am the Director of Immigration Policy at the Bronx Defenders. I want to thank the elected officials that are standing with us today, showing real leadership. This is what it means to stand with and for immigrant New Yorkers. I'm here to urge the rest of the elected officials to call on all New Yorkers to take urgent action and pass the New York for All Act and the Dignity Not Detention Act before the end of session. These two bills are essential if we are serious about protecting immigrant New Yorkers from a deportation system that is abusive, devastating to our communities, and arbitrary. The Trump administration is waging an all-out assault on immigrants and due process. They're actively dismantling our constitutional protections, and the clock is ticking. Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen militarized immigration courts, and before that, they revoked grants that provided legal representation to children, criminalized advocates simply for informing people of their rights, fired immigration judges, and weaponized the Alien Enemies Act to disappear community members to brutal detention centers in El Salvador and other facilities overseas. New York State must act now. We cannot remain silent or complicit in this war on immigrants and this destruction of our core values. We need the New York for All Act. We can't allow state and local institutions to serve as a pipeline to federal deportation. Trust in public systems, especially in immigrant communities, depends on drawing a bright line. We need the Dignity Not Detention Act. This bill ends New York's contracts with ICE in local jails, including the Orange County Jail, which is notorious for abuse, isolation, and medical neglect. This bill ensures that New York no longer props up a system that profits off the detention of our neighbors. Together, these bills offer a real blueprint for safety and dignity in our state. We must pass both, not one or the other, but both, before session ends, in just 2 weeks. Every day of inaction allows the deportation system to rip more families apart. Let's end voluntary collaboration with ICE. Let's shut down ICE detention in our jails. Let's pass the New York for All Act and the Dignity Not Detention Act now. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa. I next would like to call up Assembly Member Emily Gallagher.
Good morning. I'm Assembly Member Emily Gallagher, representing District 50, Williamsburg and Greenpoint in Brooklyn, a community that was built by immigrants. And I am here today to say that we must pass the Dignity Not Detention and New York for All Acts in the next few days in Albany. Excuse me. In a moment when the federal government is launching the most egregious, lawless attack on immigrants of color, because to be clear, we've seen how they behave differently when immigrants are white. It is downright shameful that our state is doing nothing to step up and protect our people. Let it be clear, this is training. They are training us, the federal government is training us to shut up and sit down. They do not want us to stand up for our people. They want us to cower. And in moments like this, it is more important than ever that we stand up as a state and say that that is not what New York is about. New York is standing together with the people of New York who are by and large immigrants or descended from immigrants. And we are going to fight every single step of the way to protect our people and to keep them here. We need our caregivers. We need our community members. We need our parents. We need our children. We need our students. We need them here with us. This is what community looks like. And this is what we need to protect. Because at the end of the day, the state is nothing more than a group of people. And I am here to represent my people and say, I will not sit down when the federal government tells me to shut up. I will keep fighting, and I will stand up and fight for every single member of my community, regardless of immigration status. We belong here together, and we will not stop until every single New Yorker is safe and protected in this state. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Gallagher. I next would like to call up Assemblymember Farah Souffrant Forrest.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Farah Souffrant Forrest, and I'm the Assembly Member for 8057, representing Fort Greene, Clinton Hill, Crown Heights, and Bed-Stuy. But more importantly than just my neighborhood, I am also the chair on the Task Force on New Americans in the State Assembly, and I am the proud daughter of Haitian immigrants, both who came to the United States not to cause crimes, not to steal, but to contribute and raise up the next Assembly member for New York State. I'm that daughter. And so, as the daughter of proud Haitian immigrants, I am outraged and disgusted by the recent ICE arrests of asylum-seeking immigrants outside of their immigration court hearings in New York City. This is a premeditated abuse of power that weaponizes our federal immigration system against some of the most vulnerable people in our states and undermines the trust in every institution connected to the immigration process. Understand that the people being arrested and detained without due process are New Yorkers. Their parents, children, friends, neighbors, co-workers. To really hit it home, they're my family members as well. And these individuals were not hiding. They were following the rules and complying with legal requirements. They were not hiding in the shadows. They appeared voluntary for scheduled immigration check-ins. And for Trump administration and ICE goons to ambush people who are doing exactly what the system demands of them is not just cowardly and cruel, it's kidnapping. Yes. It's kidnapping. Yes. It's abduction. Yes. And last time I checked, these are crimes. Yes. And so, I don't think we should be catching the people who show up. It's the people who are detaining them that are criminals. Trump, you are a criminal. ICE, people who are arresting people are criminals. And those are the people we should be asking questions. Those are the people who should be going up before judges and to answer to their crimes. Amen. New York is home to people from every corner of the globe, and our commitment to being safe, being a safe and welcoming state must not be compromised. It must not just be a symbolic, it must be in actuality. We have just 10 days left in the legislative session to do something. To do something. And the something that we need to do is the New York for all and the detention with dignity. Act. We must pass all of these bills. We must pass New York for all and the Dignity Not Detention Act immediately. We cannot wait. We cannot allow federal agents to commit crimes against people, against New Yorkers, against our communities, and against us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember Souffrant Forrest, for calling this exactly what it is. It is violence, and it is no less violent when it is committed by law enforcement or the state. Next, I want to call up Assemblymember Claire Valdez.
Good morning. My name is Claire Valdez. I represent the 37th District in Queens, Long Island City, Sunnyside, Woodside, Mascot, and Ridgewood. Working class communities, all. I have, at this point, lost count of the number of rallies I have been to for New York for All. We've been raising our voices about this and warning our leadership about this for months and for years before that. Since January, we have been raising the alarm about what we knew was coming. The abduction of our neighbors and our family members at the hands of a fascist government. We've been told that we need to wait until it gets bad. It's bad. The emergency is here. We can't articulate enough that our neighbors and our family members are being taken to foreign mega prisons thousands and thousands of miles away with no due process. What level of emergency do you need to take action? We have 10 days left to make meaningful strides to show New Yorkers of all stripes that we have their back, that we know that they are the bedrock of our state and our city, and we aren't going to abandon them. That we are going to forget that they were taken from their homes, taken from courthouses, and taken from schools. I'm asking my colleagues in the Assembly, my colleagues in the Senate, Governor Hochul, to stand up for immigrant New Yorkers. We can't wait. We don't have time to be heartbroken about the losses we've already suffered. We have to commit ourselves to preventing even more. This is a moment for us to be brave. This is a moment for us to stand up when others are being pushed into the shadows, and we can do it. New York can lead on this. I'm thankful to so many people who've been organizing for this for years. We have 10 days left. Let's show New Yorkers of all walks of life that we stand with them. Thank you so much.
¿Qué queremos? New York para todos. ¿Y cuándo? Ahora. ¿Y cuándo? Ahora. ¿Y cómo? Luchando, creando poder popular. Luchando, creando poder popular.
Thank you, and thank you, Assemblymember Valdez, for expressing the urgency of this moment. I next want to call up Jorge Paz-Reyes, a community organizer with Mixteca.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
My name is Jorge Paz-Reyes, and I'm the community organizer at Mixteca and a Honduran migrant. We're here today because we're running out of time. And I'm here to represent all those countless community members who in the past 5 months have traveled to Albany to advocate not for a special treatment, but for their lives, for their dignity and basic protections that they deserve. In the past months, we've witnessed unprecedented attacks on our immigrant neighbors. We felt the pain of Dylan's arrest, the deportation of queer makeup artist Andrea Hernandez, and the detention of thousands of community members. These are working people, parents, students, and leaders. New Yorkers who contribute to every day and only want to live a simple life. Yet, so many are afraid and to seek help because they do not trust the police. In February, one of our community members spent an entire day searching for her husband. She was too afraid to file a missing police report, afraid that they would lead to a deportation. Imagine that you lose a loved one and that you're too afraid to ask for help. This is the story that resembles many other community members who have suffered from domestic abuse and cannot report it because the NYPD is collaborating with ICE. It breaks my heart to see that our legislation is choosing to have a reactive approach rather than a proactive approach when it comes to immigration. These are the lives of millions of families that are at risk. We have just 10 days left to pass critical piece of legislation. New York for All and Dignity Not Detention bills would finally end dangerous partnership between ICE and the police. Nuestra comunidad está cansada de normalizar la persecución y el odio, cansada de contribuir, de luchar por una vida mejor y aún no poder vivir en paz ni con las protecciones básicas. So we say that no more. We demand that New York stands for all its people. We demand that ICE ends collusion with the police. And we demand our lawmakers today, not tomorrow, to pass the New York for All and Dignity Not Detention. Because no one should live in fear and of their family being turned away. Say it now. Say it loud, say it clear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jorge. And last, I would like to call up Chloe Breyer, Executive Director of the Interfaith Center of New York, to lead us in a closing prayer. Thank you.
Thank you so much to the NYIC and all those gathered here today. We've done too much of this, but we won't give up. So we're here today to support New York for All and Dignity Not Detention. As we know, most faith traditions, not only in this city but around the world, share the belief in the dignity of every human being. Human beings are not only the flesh and blood that we see before us, but we have a spirit that is more than that. And indeed, even the founding documents of this country, those documents that initiated what we now know as a democracy, as flawed as it began, it has sustained itself over time. Those documents also talk about human beings created equal and with certain inalienable rights, each one of us. So it is in this spirit that we are here today, to make sure that that promise that exists within our faith traditions and also in this country at its core will not be lost forever. So with that, I invite you to join me in prayer and to if it is your practice, to pray for our elected officials as they gather to try and do the right thing for the people of this state, including the newest New Yorkers. Almighty God, send down upon us and upon our elected officials the spirit of wisdom and strength, so that together we may pass legislation that does right by those without rights and who have been treated too badly in this country. We ask you, oh God, help us, give us the strength to advocate and pass New York for all, and dignity without, and detention, dignity without,
Dignity, not detention.
Dignity without detention. Amen. Thank you very much.
Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Y si nos echan, nos regresamos.
Thank you all so much. I'm happy to take any questions from the press.
Angie Hernandez here in New York Spectrum Noticias. Can you just tell us what's the timing for this to pass?
Yes. While none of us here has, control of the chamber in the Assembly or the Senate, we are urging passage of these bills as soon as possible. They could be brought to a vote as soon as this week, but we only have about 8 session days left in the legislative session. Technically, only 7 days, but I think that we should continue as long as it takes, stay in Albany as long as it takes to pass both of these bills, and it's urgent that we pass them as soon as possible. There's no legal reason why they couldn't be brought to a vote this week.
Both of these bills.
That's right. That's the New York for All bill and dignity, not detention. Yes, thank you. That as well, but somebody might be willing to. Yeah. If you'd like. Assemblymember Mitenes. Yeah.
Sí, dígame. ¿En español? Buenas.
Si puedes hablar un poquito acerca en español sobre estas dos legislaciones.
Sí, la primera, New York for All, Nueva York para Todo, es para evitar recursos municipales y estatales que estén usados para ayudar a ICE y el gobierno federal. Y el otro es Dignity, not detention, the beds.
Immigration detention, so ending immigration detention in local jails.
Lo que estamos viendo y tenemos que entender es que esto también está produciendo bastante dinero para gente. Entonces, por lo mismo que quieren arrestar gente rápido, lo que están empezando a hacer es alquilar esas camas en las cárceles que existen, que tienen espacio. Entonces, lo que queremos hacer es con Dignity Not Detention es eliminar eso.
Entonces, están teniendo pues aprobaciones del Estado para que esas camas se estén utilizando.
Ellos tienen la autoridad de hacerlo ahora, la legislación lo prohibiría.
Y en español, si nos dice Marcela, la fecha en que se puede, pues hasta cuándo la Asamblea tiene para aprobar esas legislaciones.
La sesión está supuesta a terminar el próximo viernes. No estoy
¿La próxima semana o este viernes?
No, el 13.
El 13.
Sí, el Senado termina el 13, la Asamblea tenemos 3 días más, por lo mismo que el presupuesto ha sido atrasado. Para la Asamblea tenemos 3 días más, pero si ellos se van y no hemos aprobado la ley, de nada sirve que nosotros tengamos 3 días más, ¿verdad? Tiene que pasar por la Cámara del Senado y después también por la Cámara de la Asamblea para que vaya donde la gobernadora, donde ella oficialmente hace la ley para enactándolo.
Básicamente el último día sería el 13 de julio.
Sí, nos queda poco tiempo y como han escuchado lo que estamos diciendo es que ellos quieren que nosotros esperemos, que no estemos reaccionando a lo que está pasando. ¿verdad? Pero al mismo tiempo estamos esperando y estamos viendo lo que están haciendo y ahora se está acabando el tiempo y nosotros tenemos la oportunidad a nivel estatal de pasar protecciones como esto que va a ayudar. Y más importante, estamos viendo las escuelas, ¿verdad? Los niños no están viendo las escuelas, los dueños de negocios se están poniendo preocupados, no tienen personal para hacer el trabajo, pero los clientes también no hay. Entonces, esto no es solamente de la crueldad que están haciendo, pero tenemos que recordar también que esto está impactando nuestra economía también.
So the session ends June 13th, which means you would have to have a vote each week. The legislative calendar technically has the Senate ending next week on the 12th. We expect to still be in session on the 13th, which is next Friday. And what Assemblymember Mitaines mentioned is that the Assembly actually added a few extra days to the legislative calendar, but since both houses must pass bills in order for them to go to the governor to be signed, we really should consider it as we have until the end of next week to pass these bills. I think we have a responsibility to do it, and I think it's likely given how strong the support is for both of these bills. Absolutely. So the first one that we've talked about is New York for All. Right now, with the exception of in New York City in the 5 boroughs, other counties in the state, law enforcement are legally able to provide information about people's immigration status to federal immigration enforcement, and they often will ask about that information, collect that information when they make a totally unrelated arrest of an individual, of a New Yorker. That isn't right. It doesn't need to be that way. What New York for All would do is prohibit that practice, prohibit law enforcement from collaborating with ICE when it's not legally necessary. Dignity, not detention. Right now, there are correctional facilities, local correctional facilities in New York State that are holding people in immigration detention, people who have not been charged with a crime. They are contracting with the federal government to hold those people in immigration detention. We want those contracts to be terminated and completely discontinued. We should not be holding anyone in immigration detention in New York.
And just for clarification in Spanish, la ley de Nueva York para todos para alinear a Nueva York con estados como Washington y California que se niegan a utilizar sus recursos para aplicar a la ley federal de inmigración. Y el segundo, la ley de dignidad, que le decimos no detención para evitar que las cárceles locales alquilen espacios de celdas al servicio de inmigración y control de aduanas ICE de los Estados Unidos con fines de lucro.
Guys, we're going to let the crowd disperse, but the electeds will still be around if you guys have additional questions. So it's hot. Well, we can stand for this. Thank you guys for coming. Feel free to stay or head out.
Alright everyone, so I'm going to end the live stream here. I'm going to grab some interviews before the crowd dispersed. So make sure you check back later for some more footage from this rally here. Again, thank you for tuning in. Smash that like button if you haven't done so. Share this. And again, we'll have some more. We'll have some interviews from here later today or tomorrow. Alright everyone, have a good day.